Hey, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the JPS meeting of January 18th. We are running light on people in the room, so I'll take a motion to add member Rutledge to the JPS meeting for today. A motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Welcome, member Rutledge. I thank you very much for being here today so we can proceed with business. With that, I'll take a roll call.
Chair Renahan.
Here.
Member Chaplin. Here. Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Here. Member Garcia.
Here.
Member Krajewski. Member Ozog. Member Pachalski. Here. Member Schwarzy. Member Selman. Member Zay.
Here.
Member Rutledge.
Here. All right, great. Thank you. Additionally, there's been a request to allow remote participation from member Garcia and member Zay based on personal illness and employment purposes. Pursuant to Section A of the Open Meetings Act, if a quorum of the members of the public body is physically present as required in Section 2.01.
So moved.
A majority of the public body may allow a member to the body to attend. Is there a motion to allow members Garcia and Zay to participate? We had a motion with Chaplin, second Schwarzy. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, and welcome member Garcia and Zay. No remarks today. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of January 4th, 2022. Motion from the second. Questions, comments, additions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That's approved. I'll take a motion on procurement requisition 2022-15, approval of contract purchase order to Clear Loss Prevention for repair and replacement county campus security cameras for OEM $8,975.88.
Oh, Madam Chair, I think we missed public comment and approval of minutes.
Oh,
No worries.
okay. Yes. Let's go back. I'm sorry. I'm thrown off by no one being here. Do we have any public comment? We have
No public comment.
All right. But I think we did do approval of the minutes.
We had approval of the minutes.
Yeah.
I can check. Member Ozog.
Okay. All right. All right, great. In that case, let's proceed. I think we had a motion and a second on the clear loss prevention. Questions or comments on this?
I'm sorry, who's
Yes,
the second?
Vice Chair Pachalski is the second. And questions, comments? Member Pachalski?
Are we just repair and replacing, or are we adding new locations to various parts of the campus structure?
For repairing. And then we are now out to bid for new cameras and then replacing some cameras again, and then also adding some cameras to the campus.
Reason I ask is my paralegal 2 weeks ago parked over in the parking building and somebody smashed the right front of her car. And I was surprised that we have no cameras in various places that have parking lots. So
Depending upon where in the parking lot, if it's in the garage, it's virtually impossible to get every spot covered.
Yeah, I hear you. But my question is there any plan to add lights to campus security under this or in the future?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is some of the project we had all talked about in terms of campus safety.
This is repairing broken cameras that have come up over the year. A little bit more than I had thought, obviously. But hopefully in the future, it won't happen again because we're going to be replacing. We've been given the funds to replace them and to make sure everything is fine. So it should be a little bit better this year.
I thought we did a certain number every year, 50, 50, 50. Is that not correct or not?
Well, we did at the beginning. So we had the first year or two of the 6-year plan that we replaced all the cameras here, care center, garages, a few other places. And then we had kind of a standstill because of budgeting issues. And now we're back on track again.
All right, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Chief Briggs.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this item? All in favor? Aye. Any? That is approved. I'll take a motion to approve JPSP 4522, approval for contract to Curry Motors Commercial Center for the purchase of 7 2022 Ford Utility Police Interceptor vehicles for a contract total not to exceed $308,518. Price in compliance with Government Joint Purchasing Act, cooperative contract number 152. 2 vehicles will be funded through the general fund, with 5 being funded through the coroner's fee fund. This is for the coroner. Do we have a motion? Yes. Vice Chair Pachowski, a second. Second, Member Swarzy. Questions or comments on this item? Yeah, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. So I'm kind of curious about this item on the agenda. It looks like these vehicles are being, like you said, Member Chair Renahan, that they're coming out of general fund and the coroner's fee fund. You know, we have a vehicle replacement fund that we just approved in our budget. So I'm kind of curious as to why these aren't coming through the vehicle replacement fund. And, you know, if this has been through transportation and those type of questions.
So do we have someone here from finance?
Good morning, this is Jeff. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, they actually are. If you look in the decision memo and the account breakdown, the vehicles are coming out of the new vehicle replacement fund. So that is happening. That it's not the general fund, it's the vehicle replacement fund. Money was transferred from the general fund into the vehicle replacement fund in FY21 to cover these vehicles.
And is that the 2 vehicles or the 7 vehicles?
5 vehicles are coming from the coroner's fee fund, 2 vehicles from the new vehicle replacement fund as budgeted.
Member Chaplin, continue.
Okay, so
please.
maybe I'm not understanding. Didn't we put like 3 million in the vehicle replacement fund?
Yes.
Okay, so why is the coroner transferring this money from his fund into the vehicle replacement fund when we put money aside for the vehicle fund?
In order to get the 7 vehicles funded that he wanted, the coroner, Dr. Jorgensen, offered to use that money to help fund it for the 5 vehicles.
This is Rich Jorgensen. I'm happy to respond to that as well, Jeff, if
Yeah,
you'd like me to. The answer is that this was discussed at my budget workshop, and I explained this all to the county board when we discussed this at the budget workshop. There are 2 vehicles that the county has determined are past their safe usage and are going to be replaced. The 5 Ford Escapes that we have now, I do not feel are safe and adequate for the work that we do on the side of the roads or in fields, and that type of thing. So that is why we are paying for them out of the coroner fee fund and not replacing these. I'm actually just buying 5 vehicles and transferring the other 5 vehicles to other people on the campus.
Member Chaplin.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Rich, for that
Yep.
explanation. So you're purchasing, you're going to put the 5 Ford Escapes, you're going to give them to other people in the county, and you're purchasing 5 brand new? Is that what I'm-
Correct. We're getting 5 police interceptors, a larger vehicle with more sturdy 4-wheel drive and a more appropriate vehicles for the work and the situations that we end up in.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of just confused why we're adding 5 vehicles to our fleet. Is there transportation, have they gone over this? Has anybody from transportation?
We are not adding more vehicles to our fleet. So Dr. Jorgensen is replacing his entire fleet of 7. 2 of them absolutely meet the requirements for replacement, and that's what's being paid for out of the vehicle replacement fund. 5 of them do not meet the letter of for replacement, so that's why it's at a coroner's fee fund. What Dr. Jorgensen has agreed to is the 5 that are still meet the standards that are safe and effective vehicles. We will use those 5 to replace other vehicles within the county's fleet outside of the coroner's office that meet the standards of replacement. So we'll actually not have to replace those other ones. Instead of buying a brand new one, we'll replace it with one with 30,000 miles.
Are the ones that we're replacing at their useful life end?
The five still have useful life on it. They don't meet the needs of the coroner's office, and that's why he has decided to use the coroner fee fund to replace
But they
them.
met the needs prior. I mean, they purchased the vehicles, right? So they met the need. So I'm just, here's what I'm just struggling with this because it sounds like we're taking 5 vehicles from the coroner's office and we're gonna put them in the county and they're gonna replace 5 other vehicles, correct? Is that what you're, okay, now are the vehicles that they're replacing, are those at their end of lifespan?
So the 7 vehicle, he has, Dr. Jorgensen has 7
Right,
vehicles.
right.
2 of them are end of life that need to be retired by
Correct.
our county statutes. 5 of them still have life and do not meet the end of life criteria for a vehicle. So we're going to repurpose those, and then he will get the vehicles that he deems proper for his field of work over there for the 7 vehicles.
So the 5 that we're repurposing, are they gonna replace 5 vehicles and in our fleet?
Yes.
Okay, I just, how long is it until these vehicles are at their, I mean, it sounds to me like the coroner just wants some fancy vehicles. He has these 5 vehicles. I would prefer waiting until these come to their end of usage and then we purchase the vehicles.
I would like to comment on that. I don't think that is fair to say that. I've saved up the money to do this out of the coroner fee fund. These vehicles are not appropriate for people to be on the side of the road in fields. They were bought at the beginning of my term 9 years ago and have long not been appropriate vehicles. In fact, as I remember when I presented this to the county board and did not have any pushback, Commissioner Selman said that Ford Escapes are roller skates, and they are. So I am doing this not to get fancy vehicles. I want safe vehicles for our deputies that go out night and day and are in situations on the side of the road, in fields, in areas that are very, very difficult and unsafe. And I'm trying to get a full fleet of safe vehicles for what we do. Now, the Ford Escapes are perfectly good vehicles for other people in the county. And so I'm not asking for anybody to give me money for these or for anything. They're just going to be repurposed. And that's what we're asking for.
Member Chaplin, if you don't have anything else, we have Garcia, Zay,
Point of personal privilege to
Ozog,
use my name,
Solomon,
please.
Pachowski. Member Garcia.
Point of personal privilege to use my name, please.
Oh, sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coroner Jorgensen, for your comments and for bringing up the really, I thought, productive conversation we had during our budget conversation. I don't know if anyone's driven a Ford Escape that's about a decade old recently. They drive like go-karts. Even if you just are pulling off the road on gravel, they become unstable. I think the coroner made a really clear case that we're going to repurpose these vehicles in a really, I think cost-conscious way, but we're going to make sure that the coroner staff is having a vehicle they can drive safely if they need to leave a roadway. So I'm in complete support of this, and I just wanted to thank him for remembering
I'm
my
not sure
comments.
that's a point of personal privilege, but let's.
Thank you. Thank you for those comments.
Member Garcia.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to take this kind of in a different venue. Basically, I'm going to put on my environmental hat. I know we're replacing 7 vehicles, but I'm wondering what the life of this is, because I thought down the line we were supposed to be looking at more toward electrical vehicles or something to be helping the environment. So I guess I'm trying to look at these are taking the place of vehicles in our fleet that possibly might have been going to electric. And so I guess that's my frustration with this. And if I can just get a bit of clarification on what the plan is for this, I would appreciate it.
Well, if you are aware of the vehicles that we're buying, they are all hybrid vehicles, and we are not replacing them. We have 2 vehicles that literally are falling apart and are a danger to your employees or my employees, and 5 vehicles that are purely gas guzzlers and stuff. They're small vehicles, and they're not going away. They're just going to be repurposed in a way that replaces other vehicles that are falling apart. So,
And I appreciate that, Dr. Jorgensen. I was more asking Nick on terms of what they're going to replacing in the main fleet. I think that's what I was mostly asking. It wasn't
Okay.
against. Thank you.
So yes, you are absolutely correct. Whenever we have a vehicle replacement that we're looking at, we absolutely look at electric, hybrid, we look at what the functions of the vehicle. And I can tell you right now, when we're looking at that, we're looking at supply chain issues, because we are having massive supply chain issues with electric vehicles right now. But that is our first goal, is to try to get as much, if not all of our fleet electric as we can, but or hybrid, but in some cases that functionality isn't there. So we have looked at it for this one.
Member Garcia, are you through? All right, thank Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank Dr. Jorgensen. Obviously, he knows his department better than anybody, and that he's deemed these vehicles unsafe for his employees. I mean, this wasn't his budget presentation. I mean, I think the safety of our employees is first and foremost, and that he is actually paying for 5 of these vehicles out of his coroner's fund that he has saved up for. I mean, helps our fund. Just because we have a vehicle replacement fund doesn't mean everybody can jump in and start buying vehicles. He's budgeted over the years. He has deemed they're not to be safe. And again, it's not like we're going to get these tomorrow. There's a lot of problems getting, and there's going to be a long delay, but at least he's starting that process of replacing these. And then these other 5 vehicles can be used for other departments that work on it. Could be security, it could be other ones that work here on the campus that will get low miles on it. And then we don't have to buy new vehicles at probably a higher price than what these 5 vehicles were that we're going to be replacing. So again, thank you, Dr. Jorgensen. This is part of your budget, and we appreciate you recognizing that these vehicles are unsafe and need to be replaced for your employees.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Zay. Member Ozak.
Thank you, Dr. Jorgensen. My question is looking down the road. I'm concerned about replacement of 7 vehicles at one time. Do you find that the use has been fairly similar, the total miles per year? And also, do you anticipate, or is it possible, and actually this may be answered by the supply chain issues, but maybe 3 one year, 4 the next, or vice versa?
Yeah.
Just questioning,
Yeah.
in 10 years to get that, to put that kind of burden on your office.
Well, it's not a financial burden at this point, because I've saved up over the years and we can financially afford this. That's why I'm doing it now. We discussed this at the budget hearing, and to do a couple of cars here, a couple of cars there does not help the issue of whether it's safe for somebody to be driving a Ford Escape on the side of a road or on a highway. It doesn't fix that problem, and it kicks the can down the road. So we have the money in there. And as a couple of people said, is I'm buying 5 of these cars. So I would have thought that somebody would say thank you, but I'm buying 5 of these cars out of the coroner fee fund. This isn't coming out of the general fund. So I've planned ahead for this, and it's time to get the fleet updated to a safer fleet for our employees.
Thank you, Dr. Jorgensen.
Yeah.
That answers my question.
Yep.
Member Solomon, I think you're next. Nope, pass. Member Vice Chair Wachowski, please.
I just want to say thank you to the coroner, because it is his budget. He's not asking for money out of the general fund. He's taking out of his funds, and his vehicles are used 24/7 in areas that you wouldn't want to go to. This is a win-win, and you stole my speech, Dr. Jorgensen. Thank you. It's coming out of your budget. You save the money, you manage your budget, and you are the one who decides what your staff needs. And I totally support having safe vehicles for our coroner's office. They're paid out of his budget and not from the general fund. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Member Eckhoff.
Well, Mr. Prochaska said what I was going to say, but I'm wondering why we're not reimbursing the coroner for this. Why is he just paying us out for safety purposes out of his out of his corner fund. The county's getting 5 vehicles that they don't have to pay for. I don't understand why we're not reimbursing them something.
Great question.
I can handle that one. Because of the vehicle replacement policy, it's only 2 are eligible for a vehicle replacement policy. The 5, that's why he's paying for the corner fee fund. But it is a win-win for
No,
everybody.
I'm not
because-
saying that, I'm not saying we should reimburse them for the 5 new ones that he's buying. I'm saying since we're knocking off 5 out of our fleet that are past their prime with the 5 used ones of his, why doesn't he get fair market value for the 5 used ones that he's giving to the county?
The answer is that I offered not to do that and did not ask Nick or finance to reimburse us for that because as I've said, we've saved up the money, we can financially do this. And so I asked finance and Nick not to reimburse me for the cars.
Well, that's awful nice of you, but I guess I hope everybody remembers that next budget time.
Well,
I see member Chaplin's hand up.
Thanks. So thank you all for the conversation, and I'm going to vote in favor of this, but I do just have one other concern. So we have
Okay.
5 vehicles, and this not necessarily is for you, Dr. Jorgensen, this is for staff. So we have 5 vehicles that we're saying are unsafe. Now, we're gonna rehab them or restore them.
oh, I'm sorry that they're not unsafe vehicles. They're unsafe for what the coroner's deputy often has to do. These are perfectly fine vehicles. These are great vehicles for the normal road. It's that they're potentially unsafe where we have to go when there's a dead person in a field or a forest preserve or on a railroad track or on the side of a multi-lane highway. So these are not unsafe vehicles. These are vehicles that are not appropriate for the work that we have to do in investigating deaths around the county.
Okay, so you believe that they're okay
And
vehicles?
I can.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They're fine vehicles.
Okay, thank
And I
you.
think it's an important point. So once we take possession of these 5 vehicles, our transportation department will go through, service them, and we will detail them and probably sanitize them a bit. And but you got to realize the vast majority of our operations, the vehicles we use, are simple on-road operations. Dr. Jorgensen has some unique operations that require unique vehicles that maybe go in places normally wouldn't go.
Thank you very much.
Member Rutledge.
Really a quick question. I appreciate Member Garcia's questions about the hybrid versus electric. So I'm just going to ask staff that if you can make those notations in the board agenda minutes so that we know that there's progress being made in that way and it'll speed things up. Thank you.
All right, Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I just wanted to make a comment. Dr. Jorgensen, Greg Schwarzy here. I appreciate, as a longtime firefighter paramedic, I've been on the scene of incidences where you and your crew have shown up, and I appreciate all you do. And this is an easy yes for me. So thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Member Osaka, and then I'm going to wrap it up.
I just want to say I am the proud owner of my second Escape. Get 4-wheel drive. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know I'd just want to thank the committee for, this is great vetting of a contract, great conversation. And, I would like to note, it does, these vehicles, these extra 5 do not qualify under a vehicle replacement policy. And there's also concern about 10 years from now about, board in the future, how are they going to afford to pay for 7 vehicles at one time? I also have concern that Dr. Jorgensen said he was very concerned that these vehicles were not safe for all these years and put employees at risk and they were falling apart. So, that being said, it seems that maybe his needs have changed and he's saying that this is something he needs right now. So I certainly respect that and I will be supporting it. But again, great conversation. I think this is why we have these committees, and thanks for everyone for weighing in. And if there are no more comments, all in favor? Aye. Any?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that is approved.
Thank you.
I'll take a motion on JPSP 4722, approval for a contract purchase order to Northeast DuPage Youth and
So
Family
moved.
Services for use, risk of domestic violence and trauma, February 1st, 2022 through January 31st, 2023, not to exceed $38,000 for probation. We had a motion. I'm sorry, who was the second? Member Solomon, questions, comments? You know, I did ask Bob McKellen to be on the line just to kind of fill us in on this. Also, the Director of Juvenile for Probation, Ray Stubner, is also available, just because this is such a great program. Anybody there?
Yes, good morning. This is Bob McKellen from Probation. Yeah, this is our contract with Northeast DuPage Youth and Family Services. This agency specializes in providing services to at-risk youth. They provide individual, group, and family counseling to juveniles and their parents for 2 of our programs. Ray Stubner, Deputy Director of our Juvenile Division, is here, and he can briefly explain those 2 programs. Ray?
Thank you, Bob. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. The PEACE program is a trauma-based program. It serves at-risk kids who are in the system, either in our diversion program or formal probation. It's run on Thursday evenings. It's an hour and a half long, 12 sessions. In fact, they run it there in the 421 building. Our Step Up group is a program for adolescents, juveniles who have been charged with domestic battery against a parent or caregiver. It's a program for both the minor and their parents. We've been running this program for about 10 years. Does a very good job with teaching kids how to be nonviolent and teaching their parents how to support their kids. It also reduces our numbers of kids in detention for domestic battery. And last thing I wanted to note is the fee is we only pay for kids that attend. So if kids don't attend, we don't pay. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you. Let's see, if we just need to, I'll take a motion to add Member Tornatori into our committee for purposes of quorum. Second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Member Tornatori. Hope that's okay. All right, do we have any questions for probation on this item? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is approved. Thank you so much for being here today, probation. I have a change order, take a motion on county contract 52941,
So
serve, issued to Path Recovery Foundation to extend
Okay.
the period January 30, 2022 to January 30, 2022. No change in contract total. Do I have a motion? Did I have a second?
Chaplain and Garcia.
Thank you. Questions, comments? All in favor? Any opposed? That's
Aye.
I'll take a motion to receive and place on file informational item,
So moved.
Public Defender's Office, December 2020 statistical report. Get a motion in a second. Questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Do we have any old business? Member Schwarzy.
Actually, with the discussion over the coroner's vehicles that he's replacing, would it be financially beneficial to think about selling those used vehicles with the way the market is these days?
Next.
Because we are replacing other vehicles that need replacement in our fleet. If we don't repurpose these, we will have to buy 5 other new vehicles, and the price for new vehicles right now is through the roof.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Member Garcia.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Monahan. I brought up at last JPS, I'm sorry, my voice is really pretty much gone. The GLT tablets over at the sheriff's office. I don't know if anybody's on the sheriff's office, but I haven't received a response on why the cost of using those to the inmates has risen to 600% higher. And I sent an email to the sheriff on the 14th of December, and then I asked last time. I still haven't received any response on this. And I'm just asking for a report on why the cost of the GLT tablets has risen so much in the last few months. I don't know if there's anybody on the sheriff's office here or not.
All right, thank you, Member Garcia. Do we have anyone from the sheriff's department on the line? No?
If I may, Madam Chair, I will follow up with the sheriff's office for you, Member Garcia.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, thank you. Do we have any other old business? Yeah, I'd just like to mention, I know the sheriff had offered to take people on tours, and I think during COVID, that has, obviously been put on hold. So I think, we will continue on that. It's not for any lapse of, I don't think anyone's trying to be slighted. It's just being COVID friendly. So do we have any new business? No new business. See no new business. I'll take a motion to adjourn. I have a second. Member Vice Chair Wachowski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned until February 1st. Thank you.